What is up, budgeting family and friends? My name is Shirria. This is the Shirria Mac channel where I am documenting our six-figure debt-free journey as an entrepreneurial licensed clinical social worker with my very own virtual private practice, along with my husband who is a welder. Together we have a combined income of about $130,000. We started our journey in October of 2023 with $305,884 worth of debt, and we have a goal to have that debt completely paid off and eliminated by December 31st, 2026, to then start to build wealth and become work optional within 9 years, which is when my husband will be 50. I am documenting and sharing my journey with you guys here in the form of monthly budgets, weekly budgets, debt updates, and because I am an entrepreneur, I do also share the income that I was able to earn in my private practice at the end of every month. If that sounds like something that you are interested in, if you are interested in following our debt-free journey, our six-figure debt-free journey, be sure to subscribe to me here. And if you want more day-to-day content and closer looks into my life, be sure to follow me. Check me out on my TikTok page, which is Shirria Mac in Debt. The link is listed in the description box below. Today's video is our September week 3 budget. We will get right into it. So what you see on the screen is my debt template or my budgeting template. If you are interested on more information about this template, there's a video linked in the description box below that talks about my debt-free template. And then if you are actually interested in purchasing the template, you can purchase it also from the Etsy store. The link is listed in the description box below. I am currently in works of my own budgeting template. So I'm excited to get that up and running, hopefully early 2025. But until then, I will continue to use this one because I really do like this one. So we are paid weekly. My husband is paid on Thursday. I am paid on Friday. Again, my husband is a welder and I have my virtual own private practice. So this week's budget starts on Thursday, September the 12th, and it runs till Wednesday, September the 18th. The income was about the same. The income was planned at $1,800. That was with $850 planned for my husband's paycheck, and he actually earned $908.82. And then $950 planned from my paycheck, and I actually earned $1,104.74. I am a salaried employee within my business, so my income will probably always be the same unless I increase or decrease the amount of money that I am paying myself. That brought our actual income for this week to $2,013.56. The savings for this week was planned at $210, and that was with $50 into my high yield savings account that is automatically withdrawn, and it does go into my high yield savings account with Ally. If you are interested in opening a high yield savings account, I have a link and a referral code. I believe you get $50 and I get $50, and that is listed in the comment section below. The current interest rate for the high yield savings account with Ally, I believe, is 4.25%, so that's good. My husband has $50. We plan on saving $50 for my husband in his savings account, and we did actually save $50. In-one investments did not get anything. It is automatically deposited every other Friday, so this was not the Friday. Christmas 2024 got $25. It was planned to get $25, but it actually got $50. Princeton, which is my youngest son, we planned to save $10, and we actually saved $10.81, and that was probably to take him to the next dollar. $25 was planned for my daughter, and we probably paid off a $25 charge on our Amex instead of putting the money into the savings account. And then $50 for my son's barber school was planned, and we did actually save $50. So that brought our actual savings to $210.81. We go over to bills. Bills for September week 3 were planned at $457.68. And those bills include a planned weekly mortgage installment payment of $333, and $333 did actually come out. Cricket Wireless is my husband's cell phone plan. That was planned at $58, and $58 did come out. Music and arts, which is my son's trumpet, was planned at $41.63, and $41.63 did come out. Planet Fitness was planned at $25.05 and $25.05 did come out. So our bills for this week were $457.68. And I just want to see what our bills would have been if we didn't have the mortgage. $124.68. So, interesting. It's interesting to see. That is definitely affordable if we were to pay off our mortgage, which is something that we are currently discussing. My husband would like to pay off the mortgage and then pay off everything else. Because of the interest rate, I just don't think that that is mathematically the best option. That is absolutely an emotional decision. And I'm not saying that that's a wrong decision. I mean, there absolutely is some comfort in just knowing that you don't owe a mortgage. And I know sometimes the argument is that you'll never fully own your house because you have to pay taxes and you have to pay insurance, which is true. But it's funny that nobody ever really feels that way about your car. You have to always pay taxes on your car as well, whether it's paid off or not. It just dictates the amount that you pay on the taxes, but you also have to pay taxes on your car and insurance. And I never hear the argument when it comes to paying, when someone wants to pay their car off. So his desire to pay off the mortgage is an emotional decision based on security, which I completely understand considering my autoimmune disease and the fact that I'm getting older. But mathematically, which is how I operate, it just doesn't make sense because the interest rate on our mortgage is 2.63%. So, but that's interesting to see that our weekly bills would have been, just for this week anyway, would have been $124, which is like we could Uber and get that, DoorDash. Expenses for this week were planned at $596, and that was with $150 planned for groceries, and what we actually spent was $8.17. If you're wondering why, it's because my son goes to a charter school, and that charter school, I don't know if that's why. Anyhow, my husband ended up receiving Sunbucks or food stamps in my son's name. In the amount of $261, I believe. And so we have to use those up before October. So we use those for this week's grocery budget. And we came in under budget just because I shopped from the house. But $8.17 was something that I purchased because my husband actually has the card in his wallet, since I typically send him to the store when he gets off of work on his way home, and I don't go to the store so during the week, so he has it in his wallet. So I did spend $8.17 out of my own pocket. Gas was planned at $125 and we spent $108.08. Beauty maintenance was planned at $25, and I did actually go and take $25 out of the bank to purchase some beauty items that I am running low on. Boy's hair was planned at $50, and he did get his hair done, and I did pay $50. Toiletries had $0 because we pretty much stocked up in the middle of last week, I believe, last month. Household got $66.15, and we did actually spend $66.15. What we actually did was did a big haul at the beginning of the month from Sam's Club, and then although the budget was $200, we went over a little bit, and we broke that down over 4 weeks. So that is the weekly installment of what we spent for the month. Fast food, we budgeted $50 and we only spent $6.93, which is amazing. Miscellaneous, we budgeted $80, we spent $427.14, and we will go over that. And then tithe, we budgeted $50 and we tithed $50. $0 went into car maintenance and $0 went into a holiday celebration. No holidays coming up. Well, my birthday is coming up, and that is a holiday. But our expenses ended up totaling $741.47. We go over to debt payments for September week 3, and they were planned at $508.20. That was with $29 on our Capital One VRX card, which we had got thinking that we would be traveling more often. But that has a zero balance. So the $29 was snowballed into another payment. Ulta's minimum payment is $35, also has a zero balance, so that was snowballed. My state employees credit union card has a minimum payment of $50, and that has a zero balance, so we snowballed that payment. Hilton American Express, I always have to share, Hilton American Express does always keep a balance, and that is because I have 4 authorized users on the account. All but one, which is my daughter in college, pays the balance, pays their balances off by the state, pays their statement balance by the pay date. And I try to do the same. And a lot of times what I am covering is my daughter's expenses and something that I purchased. So for this week, we put $116.51 on that card. My husband's Hilton American Express, he also has 2 authorized users. I am one, and then my bonus son is the other. And that racked up a huge balance. I think my bonus son didn't quite understand how credit worked. And so he is currently working on paying down his balances. And then we are working on paying down my husband's balance. So for this week, we did put $269.83. Sam's Club did have a balance. Again, that did include the household stuff that we put on the card, but we did pay the $35 minimum payment, but we also paid the $66.15 as well. And then my car is now financed with the credit union, and payments actually start on the 27th. So what we've been doing is snowballing the weekly car payment into the credit card, which I think I discussed in a previous video. So that has been rolled into my husband's Hilton American Express to avoid those higher interest rates. But this week I did actually pay it, and I'm so upset because unless I got it wrong, I have the car payment set up. The credit union is who I bank with, and I have automatic payments set up in the amount of $184. The car payment, I think, is either $793 or $739. I was trying to go in because I don't have a payment due to make principal payments since there was no payment due. I'm not able to make principal payments on the car until you have to actually make a full payment. And until you do make a full payment, any payments that you make are extra payments. So I went in and paid $184, which is the weekly installment. $1.81 went to the principal of the car, and the remaining balance went towards interest. And when I tell you, I was so pissed off. So what I plan to do is I started working the evening job, the 3rd shift job, and I get paid from that on the 7th. What I plan to do, and then the PRN job, I get paid, I don't remember the dates, but from the federal job, the full-time job, I get paid on the 7th and the 22nd. And then from the PRN job, I get paid the 11th, and then every other Friday after that. So I plan to make a full car payment or a half of a car payment from the part-time jobs, but a full payment from the full-time jobs, or maybe 2, depending on what the income looks like. And then going in, I don't know what I plan to do, but somehow I need to figure out how to make principal payments instead of extra payments that are applicable to the interest. So I'm hoping that, I think for October, I'm going to go in and make the full month payment. And then I feel like everything after that will be able to be applied to principal. But if that is not the case, what I plan on doing is shifting focus from the card to my husband's HELOC, paying that off. If we're allowed to make principal payments on the HELOC, pay that off. To then use that to pay my car off, and then pay that off again, if that makes sense. But that's only if we're able to make principal payments on the HELOC, and I'm not able to make principal payments on the car. And technically, since we switched over to the avalanche method, the HELOC should be next, because the interest rate on the HELOC is 7.75 and the interest rate on my car is 7.25. But I think I shared with you guys that for every liability I pay off, I plan on purchasing an asset. So when it comes to the debt to income ratio, because the payment on the car is higher, paying that off to make us eligible to get a conventional loan to purchase another property is the smarter move. But if you have any suggestions on the best way to navigate that whole scenario, please let me know. Anyhow, so those total payments come up to $615.34. We transitioned over to the budgeted versus the actual, and the planned income again was $1,800. The actual income was $2,013.56. We did have a rollover of $50, which was good. Income saved was planned at $210, and we actually saved $210.81. Income spent, which is the combination of bills and expenses, was planned at $1,053.83, and we actually spent $1,199.15. The debt payments were planned at $508.20, and we actually were able to apply $615.34. It left a remaining balance of $27.97 with an actual balance of $38.26, and I think that is correct. No, that's not correct. So, it was actually more than that. We go up to the budget and breakdown, and you see that 10.4% of our income went towards savings, which is what I like to see. 22.6% of our income went towards bills. 36.6% of our income went towards expenses, and 30.4% of our income went towards debt. Now, we were only over in the miscellaneous category. So when I go down to my actual transactions, miscellaneous expenses, $33.60. I did not document what that was, so I'm not sure. We put some money on my son's car. He got a newer car, and we paid for the tags, and we paid half on the tags for the car. We bought a birthday present for my son's girlfriend. We had to pay a deposit for a roof, to have a roof installed, but then we decided we didn't want to go with that company and that price. So that is supposed to be refunded. That was $99. And then we moved. So I moved my office from upstairs to downstairs to move my son into my office upstairs because he cuts hair out of our home. And his current stuff was in our dining room. So the various expenses that have been added up from Lowe's is to get my office up and running downstairs, which is where I'm at. So that was $92.04 from Lowe's on hardwood floors. So that explains our miscellaneous expenses. That is it for September week 3's budget. Now, again, I do share a much more condensed version I actually share the planned condensed version of the budget on my TikTok. And then I go back on Thursday or Friday and report the actual numbers. And they actually come out within the week of the budget. So here on YouTube, they are a week behind. So if you want that content more up to date but much more condensed, be sure to follow me over on TikTok. If you have any questions about what I'm budgeting, why I'm budgeting, and how, please let me know. And that is it. If you or anyone you know is on a six-figure debt-free journey or on a debt-free journey of any sorts, and you feel like you can be informed and or inspired by following my journey, please be sure to follow me here, as well as share my content with those who feel like would benefit from it. The community over here is growing, and I'm really looking forward to some of the things that I have planned for this community, as the whole debt-free community, which is I plan on combining, YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram in 2025. So that is exciting. That is it. So I really appreciate you guys for watching, if you have watched to the end. Also, if you have any advice on navigating the whole car payment, it really pissed me off that the interest is chewing up a lot of the payment. So really trying to find a strategic way to confront that interest. If you have any helpful advice with that, please let me know. I will catch you guys in the next one. Bye for now.